My relationship is perfect, except the part that's slowly killing it. You ever look at someone and think, wow, I could build a whole future with you? That was me 4 years ago. I'm 26M, my girlfriend is 26F, and from day one she changed my life. She supported me, encouraged my dreams, showed up when my world was falling apart, and I've always tried to be that guy for her too, especially when she lost a parent early in our relationship. That was one of the hardest things she ever faced. I held her through grief. I sat with her during late night crying. I watched her break, rebuild, and break again. We didn't worry about sex back then. Grief doesn't make space for passion, and I understood. I wasn't thinking about intimacy, I was thinking about protecting her heart. But now it's been 4 years. We talk about marriage, kids someday, a little house, stability. People even tell us we're relationship goals. And sometimes I believe it, but other days it feels like we're two best friends pretending to be a couple. Our intimacy didn't just slow down, it evaporated. We have sex maybe once a month, and only if I initiate it. I don't feel desired. I feel tolerated. And nothing destroys you slowly, like feeling invisible in the arms of someone you love. But here's the part I hate admitting. I don't enjoy intimacy with her anymore. Not because she isn't beautiful, she is, but because passion without connection feels like routine. Like brushing your teeth, or paying bills. Necessary, but lifeless. And I keep asking myself, is this what marriage will be like? I want to feel wanted, not just loved. Wanted. And for anyone watching this thinking I'm just some shallow dude, trust me, I wish this wasn't a problem. I wish I could turn my needs off. I wish emotional love was enough for me. But I'm human. And connection isn't just emotional, it's physical too. Pretending otherwise feels like lying to myself. Before I continue, if you like real stories, real emotions, and real-life struggles, hit subscribe right now. It really helps the channel and lets me share more honest experiences like this. Alright, back to the story. Last week we even planned intimacy in advance. A literal calendar event. You know how romantic that is? Spoiler, it's not. And the pressure hit me so hard that I couldn't even perform at first. I'm 26, this shouldn't be happening. But when intimacy feels like obligation instead of desire, your body knows something's wrong. She tried to be understanding, but the room felt heavy, quiet, awkward. We eventually did it, but emotionally, I felt nothing. Just empty. Empty. Imagine holding someone you love and feeling lonelier than when you're alone. That's where I am. I catch myself thinking about past intimacy. Not cheating, I would never do that. But fantasizing about moments when passion was alive. And every time I do, guilt hits me like a truck. 'Cause she's an amazing woman. She didn't do anything wrong. But still,
I feel stuck between staying loyal to her and betraying myself emotionally. And here's the part most people wouldn't admit online. If a beautiful woman came up to me tomorrow and offered meaningless intimacy, I don't know if I'd have the strength to walk away. And that thought terrifies me. Because that's not who I want to be. That's not the man she deserves. I love her. I don't want to leave. I don't want to cheat. I don't want resentment to rot our future before we build it. But how do you tell someone, I love you, but I don't feel desired by you anymore? How do you start that conversation?
when you love someone, but their touch doesn't feel like love anymore. You know what's harder than losing intimacy? Talking about it. I swear I sat on this conversation for weeks. Because how do you look at someone you adore and say, I miss wanting you. I miss being wanted. It's a knife to anyone's heart. But pretending everything was fine felt worse. Like lying in bed next to her with a secret I never asked for. So one night we were sitting on the couch, quiet, TV on, but neither of us watching, and I finally said, can we talk about us? Her face changed immediately. You know that look, the oh God, what's wrong look. And my stomach dropped. I almost bailed. I almost said never mind. I almost swallowed it again like I always do. But something in me whispered, if you stay silent you'll lose her anyway. So I took a breath and said it gently, not angry, not accusing, just honest. I miss being close to you. I miss feeling wanted. Her eyes softened, then filled with panic. She thought I was about to break up with her. And that broke me inside because she looked scared. Like she already felt she was failing me. She whispered, I know I haven't been great with intimacy. Sometimes I shut down. I don't even know why. And that surprised me. I thought she'd get defensive. Instead, she looked ashamed. Before I continue, stories like this are real. It genuinely helps. All right, back to it. I asked her gently, "Do you still want me? Do you still feel attracted to me?" Her answer, "Yes, of course I do. I love you, I'm just not a very sexual person. I never have been." And that sentence, it landed like a brick in my chest, because suddenly this wasn't about stress or timing or routine. It wasn't a phase. It was who she is. She leaned into me, holding my hand like she was afraid to lose me, and said, "I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to feel alone. I'm trying. I just don't always feel desire naturally." And here's what hit me hardest. She wasn't rejecting me. She just experiences intimacy differently. Love for her shows up in support, in kindness, in commitment, but not in passion. And I sat there thinking, can love survive without desire? She cried quietly, not loud tears, the soft kind, the tired kind. "I don't want to lose you," she whispered. And I held her, feeling torn in half, because I don't want to lose her either. She's the best thing in my life, but part of me felt like I was trading physical connection for emotional safety. And I don't know if that's a sacrifice love is supposed to demand. That night after our conversation, things were quiet. Not tense, not angry, just quiet in a way that felt new. She curled into me in bed like she always does, but it felt fragile, like she was afraid I would disappear if she let go. And honestly, I felt the same. We had just said the scariest truth couples hide. Love was here. Attraction needed help. But instead of waking up panicked, something happened the next morning. She made breakfast. Real breakfast. Eggs, toast, fruit, coffee, exactly how I like it. Not because I asked. Not because it's routine. Because she wanted to try. And I noticed later that day she texted me during work. I looked up couples intimacy books. Maybe we can read one together? Not porn. Not dirty talk. Not pressure. Education. Effort. She wasn't rejecting intimacy, she was afraid of it. A performing. Failing. Being expected to feel something on command. Which, when you think about it, isn't too different from my pressure to always initiate and always perform. It wasn't one person's problem. It was our dynamic. And realizing that, it softened me. That night, instead of trying to force anything sexual, we went on a walk. We held hands. We laughed. We acted like we were dating again. At one point she stopped, looked up, and said quietly, "I want us to feel close again. I really do." And hearing that, it wasn't passion. It wasn't heat. It was hope. Sometimes desire doesn't start in the body. Sometimes it starts in the heart.
For the first time in weeks, I woke up without that heavy pit in your stomach feeling. Not because everything was fixed, but because we were finally being honest instead of defensive. We didn't rush anything. No pressure. No awkward, so, tonight, conversations. Instead, we made a deal. If intimacy was going to return, it had to start with emotional safety first. So we did something that changed everything. We sat down one evening, no phones, no TV, no rushing, and we asked each other one simple question. When did we stop feeling close? And we didn't argue. We didn't debate who hurt who worse. We just listened. She told me she felt like intimacy had become a performance test. Like if she wasn't in the mood, she was disappointing me. I told her I felt invisible. Like I wasn't desirable anymore. Like I was only her partner in responsibilities. Not romance. It wasn't a fight. It was two people scared to lose each other, finally saying the quiet part out loud. And then she said something I didn't expect. "I miss wanting you, not just loving you." That sentence, I swear, it hit harder than any argument ever did. Because desire isn't about bodies. It's about being seen. So instead of forcing physical closeness, we rebuilt emotional closeness first. We cooked together. We held hands on evening walks. We sent cute texts during the day again. We hugged without expecting anything more. We actually made time for each other. Real time, not tired end of the day scraps. And slowly, the tension in the air turned warm instead of heavy. Not passion yet. Not flames, but embers. And embers can turn into fire again. If you want more real relationship stories, not fairy tales or fake drama, hit subscribe and stay with us. We're learning love the real way here. By the end of that week, something shifted. We weren't just avoiding a breakup. We were rediscovering each other. And that, honestly, felt better than any rushed attempt at fixing things ever could. Something changed the night I realized intimacy doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts in the moments before the bedroom even exists. It was a Saturday evening. Nothing special planned. No "tonight we're doing it" pressure. Just us cooking dinner together like we promised. She was chopping vegetables, hair in a messy bun, wearing one of my old hoodies. Not a movie scene moment, just real life. And for the first time in a long time, I looked at her and felt warmth instead of worry. She noticed me staring and laughed. "What, do I have sauce on my face again?" I shook my head. "You just look really happy." She paused, softened, and after a long second, she said quietly, "Because I finally feel close to you again. Not sexy, not wild, just honest." We finished dinner, played music, danced badly in the kitchen, laughing like we used to. No pretending, no roles, just two people remembering why they chose each other. Later that night, we curled up on the couch. She rested her head on my chest, tracing circles on my arm, something she hadn't done in months. No one said anything. No one rushed toward anything. It wasn't about sex in that moment. It was about safety, comfort, warmth, connection. And then she whispered something I never expected to hear. "I'm starting to want you again. Not I owe this to you, not fine, let's do it, but want." And yeah, that sentence did more for me than any physical intimacy could, because it meant we were rebuilding not just attraction, but trust, desire, curiosity, the foundation. We didn't rush into anything physical that night. We didn't force the moment to turn into something else. We just stayed there, tangled together, hearts steady and warm, feeling like teammates again instead of strangers sharing a bed. And honestly, that night felt more intimate than any night we ever tried to force closeness. Sometimes the real spark isn't heat, it's peace. Real love isn't always fireworks. Sometimes it's steady warmth returning after a long winter. Subscribe for more real-world relationships, not fairy tale edits. That night wasn't the moment, but it was the moment before the moment. And sometimes that's even more powerful. The next morning, something felt different. Not fireworks, more like a quiet sunrise after a storm. We woke up slowly, still wrapped around each other. No awkwardness, no pressure, just warmth. She looked at me, sleepy-eyed, hair messy, voice soft. "Last night felt safe. I missed that." I nodded. "I did too." And then she said something I'll never forget. "I don't want us to chase sex. I want us to chase us. The rest will come." That hit hard. Because deep down, I knew that was always the missing piece. We got up, made lazy breakfast, talked about everything we were afraid to say before, without anger, without blame. She admitted she'd been anxious about intimacy. I admitted I'd been scared to lose her. We laughed at how two people who love each other so much spent months feeling alone in the same house. And then, something beautiful happened. There was no plan, no timer, no "tonight we have to do it." It just happened naturally. A kiss in the kitchen that slowly deepened, hands finding each other. Not rushed, not pressured, just real. We didn't chase the old passion. We built a new one. Not like teenagers sneaking around, but like adults choosing each other again. On purpose, with softness and desire. And afterwards, when we were lying there catching our breath, she whispered, "Don't stop talking to me like this. That's what makes me want you." And I realized, intimacy isn't lost overnight. And it doesn't return in one big moment. It comes back in small, gentle choices. Cooking together, laughing again, holding hands, being honest, removing pressure, choosing love, not just sex. We didn't fix everything in a day. No real love story does. But we found our way back, slowly, tenderly, as teammates. And now, we're not perfect, but we're connected. We desire each other again, not because we have to, but because we want to. And honestly, that's better than anything I was fantasizing about. Because in the end, craving new people is easy. Refalling in love with the person who stays, that's rare. That's real. That's worth everything. Real relationships aren't about constant flames. They're about learning how to respark together when life blows the fire out. If you ever feel the connection fading, don't run. Reach. Talk. Hold. Slow down. Choose each other again. If you believe real love stories still exist, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more emotional true life stories. Because here, we talk about the love most people are afraid to be honest about.